Hi, good to see everyone. Today is Earth Day. It's April 22nd. And before I tell you about what's on our assignment for today, I want to start with the end of the week. So on Friday, it is the assembly where you are to bring your pet to the assembly. So Bo will be attending, and hopefully he'll be better behaved than he is right now. All right, Bo, you can go. Also at the assembly, we're going to be honoring Mrs. Teeple. You know, Mrs. Teeple, she works in the office with Mrs. Safine. And whenever you go visit her, she's always so friendly. Well, she's going to be honored on Friday because she is about to retire at the end of the school year. So you might not know what that means. Retire means that somebody maybe has worked for a long time. Mrs. Teeple's been at this school for a long time. Even her kids went to this Argonaut school. And she's decided that it's time for her to spend more time with her family and not come to work every day for the school year. I'm sure she'll still come to visit. Well, with thinking about Mrs. Teeple retiring, we have heard from Mrs. Van Putten that we need to send a video or make some piece of art that you can drop off at the school. And on Friday, Mrs. Van Putten is going to show that art and put a video together for Mrs. Teeple to honor her. So I started to work on a sign for us, and I'm going to add some of my flowers and other things in here, but this hopefully will appear in the video. Mrs. Wilhelm and Mrs. Calhoun and the Room 14 Kinders love you, Mrs. Teeple. And you know how when you go visit her, she always has like Disney characters that you could get your hand stamped? So that's what I was thinking of when I put those Disney characters on of Winnie the Pooh. Well, I feel like it's time for me to tell you something really special, very important for me, is that I'm going to retire too. That means that I won't be teaching kindergarten next year. I know I'll come back to visit a lot when you're in first grade, but instead, Mrs. Calhoun will be teaching kindergarten all by herself in room 14, so you can also always go visit her. But why would I retire? You're thinking, why would you do that? Well, do you know how we've been taking care of our granddaughter, Nola? And Nola now has a little brother named Callan. And so for next year, when school starts and Nola's parents are back to work, we get to take care of both Nola and Callan. So it seemed like the right time to leave kindergarten and be a grandparent helping Nola and Callan, just like many of you have your grandparents taking care of you too. All right, so that was Friday. That's what's happening on Friday. So on Thursday, I want to show you that some boxes arrived in the mail. One's for Mrs. Calhoun, and one of the boxes is for me. So Mrs. Calhoun's going to get her box, and I'll get my box. And on Thursday, I'll open up the box, and you'll see what's inside. And we'll also, that's the 11 o'clock lesson, the whole class lesson on Thursday, and you will get to hear a story about this too. So make sure you come at 11 o'clock on Thursday for our all-class meeting and lesson. Okay, but now today, so Raz Kids is a little different today. Today you either read or listen to a story on Raz Kids, and the story is called Care for Earth. And so in the story, you're going to hear all about our Earth and ways that you can take care of it. And I looked at the story and I made a few notes on some of the things that are in the story. And after you hear or read the story, you're going to want to draw a picture and have a sentence that goes with that picture that you write, or you can tell your mom and dad the sentence and they can write it for you. Okay, so Care for the Earth. These are some of the things that I came away with when I looked through the book. And I just happened to have this paper. I'd been watercoloring something else. And so what I did, one of the things here, I'm reusing something or recycle something that helps the earth. So think about all the ways that you can help the earth because it's Earth Day after all. And then also there's another video from my friend and Mrs. Calhoun's friend, Mrs. Wiesner. And she's going to talk more about in how-to writing that sometimes authors will pick like a topic and then they'll go on to another topic in their how-to writing. So I looked through my books, and I have a lot of nonfiction books because I just really like learning things about things that are nonfiction. And I found one author named Aliki, and she's written so many books. But just in my house, I have by Aliki, there's her name, I have How a Book is Made. She did that book. Also here, she wrote one about Shakespeare, one of the most famous writers. Here's one that Nola loves, Digging Up Dinosaurs by Aliki. And finally, the other one I have is My Visit to the Aquarium. And the Monterey Bay Aquarium is even in this book. So listen to Mrs. Wiesner and think of books, not just one topic, but other topics that you could write that you're an expert on. Now on to math. So math today is lesson 35. And we're still working with numbers like 9 and 10. And it's going to look like this. They're going to have some examples. They're going to have number bonds where you fill in a number sentence. And on this side, you have to put in the examples for what they're asking you about. So I want to make sure that I go over this with you because I thought there's a couple of important things to know. So I want you to be thinking about how you're going to show your thinking. And if you had cookie math and you have a sentence, a number sentence, someone told you a story, a math story, and they said there were 5 cookies and there were 4 brownies and there were, you can figure it out just by looking at it, 9 altogether. And somebody ate the 4 brownies. And then if you were doing the math, you would have to maybe start with your number bond because you're familiar with that. And you know that there was 9. And we heard that there were 4 eaten. So I'm going to put that right there. And you want to show your thinking again. So you're going to want to make your drawing. So I did just simple circles for the cookies, little squares for the brownies. And I know that 4 brownies got eaten. So either I can cross off each one, or because they're all in a line here, I'm just going to put a line right through them. I don't know if you can see that clearly on the screen, but I put a line right through them. So now I'm going to talk about how many are left after there were 9 desserts and 4 got eaten. So let's see, I took 4 away, so I'm going to put 4. I took 4 away. Take away, I know there were 9. And I'm writing my number sentence, but that doesn't look right because 4 take away 9. You can't take 9 things out of only 4. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing we all need to know. And this is such a big idea that I put stars around my sign. Start with the biggest number first. So when you're doing your math, you want to think about the biggest number is what's in your number bond right here. The 9, that's the whole number. So you need to start with the whole number first. So I'm going to erase and I'm going to write 9. And I took the number I take away. That's what the minus sign is, the takeaway. 9, take away 4. And then I can look up here and I know this is a group of 5, so I could count them all, but I already know that I put it in a 5 group, so I can go right to the number 5. So please remember that you always, when you're doing your number sentences, that you always have to start with the biggest number first. All right, so I'm going to go quickly on showing you one more problem. If I switched up my cookie math and I had 6 cookies and 3 got eaten, so if I was taking 3 away, I could look at this and say 9 take away 3 is I wouldn't even have to count all these. I would know it's 5 and one more. The answer would be 6. 9, take away 3 is 6. But remember, always write the biggest number first when you are doing your math equations. Crossing out the 3 brownies. I had 9 to start with. I'm putting 9. Take away 3 leaves 6. So see how the biggest number is here first. All right. And then finally, you're going to have a really fun science for Earth Day, again about the Earth. This one is How to Help the Earth by the Lorax. And I love this in Seesaw because they have a child who's reading the book. So it's really fun to listen to this child read the book. All right, my friends, there will be one more follow-up to that, which will be drawing a picture and writing a sentence or 2 sentences. Okay, you have a wonderful Earth Day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.